What's cracking, everyone? Anthony Hutley here, and today we are gonna make some bangin' hi-hats for house music.
Alright, here we are inside a Logic project that I just made. Here's what it sounds like. Nothing too fancy, just a kick, claps, a couple of percussion hits, two basses, one sub, one slightly higher bass for rhythm. So let's add some hi-hats. We'll start with a 16th. Get out our quick sampler. And today, as usual, I'm using Vengeance samples because they're awesome. Closed hat. So we're doing a 16th note hat. So it's got to be kind of short, right? I like that. Let's try it. Number 15. Paint in some MIDI notes. Okay, let's listen. Alright, so the first thing you're going to notice is that is super robotic, right? So, come over here, hold down Shift and Control. That allows me to adjust the velocities of all these. So let's humanize it a little bit. So I go various shades of green, then blue, then a red, and then a blue. So it's kind of hits kind of like in the middle, and then softly, and then hard, and then soft again. And I like to pencil them all in individually because that way they all end up slightly different. And yeah, that just adds like the the extra kind of human touch to it. Where are we at? Green, blue, red, blue, green. Cool, let's try that. Pretty good. Alright, so after that, we're going to go for another closed hat, this time on the upbeat. So on the 3 of every bar. Something slightly longer. Let's try that. Whoa. Cool. Alright, so normally during the track I don't have this closed hat playing all the time. I often have regions or sections where it'll be just this closed hat. But when they're both hitting at the same time, what I do, I go in and I just delete this one. That way, this closed hat and the 16th closed hat are not playing at the same time, right? Then, let's look for an open hat. So cymbals, open hat. Depending on what you're going for, you can choose what you want, I guess, right? Like this is more of a kind of a progressive vibe, so I'm not going to go for a 909. I kind of like that one, so let's try it. And that will be playing the same pattern. Alright, one thing I haven't done yet, which I forgot to do earlier, is gain staging. So for that I'm using a plugin called DP Meter. It's really good. It's great for gain staging and a number of other things as well. And it's free, so go check it out. So I've got my reference level set to 0. So when I play this, it measures what it is, and if I hit this button here, it normalizes it up to 0. Then same again for this guy. And then again over on our open hat. Cool. That's that done. Next thing is EQ. So when I EQ, I usually just do it solo, and then I EQ until I sort of high pass it until I hear the sound change, right? About there. I like having a bit of body in the hats, so I don't like to cut out too much of the bottom end. Probably about there. And then, oops. Same again for this open hat. Cool. About there. Okay, and there's one other thing that I need to do. Normally, because the closed hat and the open hat are often hitting at the same time, I usually roll off the transient off the front of the open hat. This time it might not matter so much because there's hardly any transient there. So let's check the oscilloscope. So this is the closed hat. And then if I play the open hat with it, you'll probably see this transient jump up a little bit. Ah, no, it's clipped at 0. All right, hold on. So let's turn these down a bit, shall we? Okay, so that's our closed hat there. And if I add the open hat to it, wow. Okay, that adds heaps. So in this case, I definitely will be shaving off the front of this transient. Watch the shape change. There you go. So now if I play the open hat by itself, the closed hat by itself, and then open hat, and now we're not adding too much to the transient, right? Which is what we want. Okay. Now I just need to balance them all. Alright, that's sounding pretty good. So then the last thing we need to do is just add a little bit of reverb. For that I'm using Spaces. Spaces is awesome. I haven't rolled off any of the bottom end of this yet. I don't want any bottom end in the reverb. So what we're going to do, that, and then afterwards, when I've got a full mix, I usually add a bunch of sparkle. So I've got just fresh air on a channel over here, and then I just add it with the send. I'm not going to do that now because it's hard to do, number one, without a full mix, and number two, without a reference track. So there is one last thing that I forgot to mention earlier. Often when I do my 16th hats, I'll often add a pan plugin, in this case Pan Man, and I'll just add it And what this does, it adds a bit of width without any phase issues, and just adds a little bit more interest to the hats. A little bit of movement there. And then sometimes I'll go in here and I'll add a one knob pumper, the Waves plugin. I got it for free 1 year, and that just gives a little bit more. Just a slight bit more movement onto the hats as well. So.
Alright gang, well that is how I make hi-hats. So if I've forgotten to explain anything or you have any questions, chuck them down in the comments. If you found that helpful, give us a thumbs up, don't forget to subscribe, and until next time, thanks so much for watching and I hope you have a great day. Peace.